Welcome in, Seahawks Today by Chat Sports. Today's show sponsored by GlassesUSA.com. We'll tell you later on how you can get glasses just like me in just a matter of moments. But first, we are looking at the winners and the losers from Seahawks Minicamp. Mandatory Minicamp, might I add you. We have a full breakdown of what went down over the last few days coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we get to all that, though, if you're ready for the Seahawks season to start, I need you to like today's video. We are getting closer and closer by the day. Less than 100 days away now. I can't wait for real football to get here. We talk enough about OTAs and minicamp and all that. Can we get to the real thing already? If you're ready for the Seahawks season to start, go ahead and smash that like button, and we'll get started with today's show. The first winner from minicamp is Mike Jaxon, the corner for Seattle that has a lot on the line in this offseason as the Seahawks took Devon Witherspoon with that number 5 pick. And it was kind of assumed that Devon Witherspoon would immediately jump into that role as the other starting outside corner opposite of Tariq Woolen. Well, Mike Jaxon is still laying everything out on the line and competing hard for that spot to go along with Tariq Woolen there. And what we've seen, according to Pete Carroll, was that he had the best camp of anyone in minicamp, that Mike Jaxon was that guy that stood out above the rest. And with that, you'll love to see it from Mike Jaxon of that we don't know, quite frankly, what the depth chart is ultimately going to look like, but that Mike Jaxon is competing. And let's say that he does get beat out by Devon Witherspoon. You have a guy that's playing hard, that has starting experience, that if an injury were to happen, or maybe if Tariq Woolen doesn't come back in time, whatever it may be, a guy you can count on. And Mike Jaxon, very good to see from him so far through minicamp and the offseason activities to this point. Speaking of the corner position, we'll go to Devon Witherspoon. He's a winner here as well. And one of the things that we saw out of Devon Witherspoon was flexibility here in minicamp at this point. We told you how Mike Jaxon held his own. He's not giving away that starting spot just yet, that Devon Witherspoon's got his work cut out for him to get that. But as we've told you previously, the main thing for the Seattle defense is that you want to see Devon Witherspoon play hard enough in practice and in the preseason games where he at least earns playing time to get on the field for that number 5 pick. And one of the ways, let's say that Mike Jaxon does what he can to hold that spot and still is your outside corner, can you at least put him in the nickel or something, or in the slot? Well, according to Pete Carroll, he said that Devon Witherspoon was getting work at nickel just in case to see what they can do there, particularly with Kobe Bryant sidelined due to a toe injury. Carroll said that Tariq Woolen's still on track to be back for training camp, but the indications were that Devon Witherspoon looked good at that slot spot. So one way or the other, we are going to see Devon Witherspoon out on the football field in 2023, and that's very good that the flexibility provides, whether he's starting at outside corner or he's in the slot, whatever it may be, you're going to be able to get him out there, and he's going to have an impact either way. So that's very positive from the Seahawks on that front. More players to get to here in just a second, but first, name a breakout performer for the Seahawks. Who is somebody that comes to mind that you think is going to have a standout year in 2023, a breakthrough season of sorts, whether it's a rookie or a guy that's got something to prove? Tell me in the comment section, name a breakout performer for Seattle this season. It's our pinned comment today. You might get an ad break. If so, take advantage of it. Get your votes in. Tell me a breakout performer for Seattle this season. We turn our attention to another rookie, this time on the offensive side of the ball, and that is Jaxon Smith-Njigba. And the thing that we've learned about Jaxon Smith-Njigba is that he has won the respect of both the teammates and the coaching staff. You've heard from Tyler Lockett, Geno Smith, and others speak so highly of Jaxon Smith-Njigba, of what he is bringing to this offense in 2023. And here's more. Greg Bell tweeting out saying, another Seahawks practice, more of what Jaxon Smith-Njigba does best, catching ball away from his body with his hands, smoothest cuts, just clean. Oh, man. Pete Carroll says he's really, really natural. He's got a great change of direction, hands as natural as can be. I'm excited for Jaxon Smith-Njigba. It's a win for Geno Smith, a win for this receiving core and the rest of this offense. When you look at this Seahawks offense and Jaxon Smith's immediate role in this offense, I think you're looking at Seattle having one of the better offenses in the entire National Football League. And Jaxon Smith-Njigba will be a big reason why, as far as I'm concerned. The hype is real for JSN, and he's living up to it at this point. More Seahawks today coming up in just a moment, but first, are you tired of paying a lot on prescription eyeglasses? Then this message is for you. My new Muse Vicky prescription eyeglasses are from GlassesUSA.com. If you didn't already know, GlassesUSA.com is one of the biggest eyewear retailers in the U.S., offering thousands of eyeglasses and sunglasses from brands such as Ray-Ban, Gucci, Oakley, and many more. What's best about GlassesUSA.com is that glasses start at only $39, which are up to 70% off retail prices. There is a crazy exclusive offer waiting for my followers by clicking the links in the description box. GlassesUSA.com is also the perfect place to stock up and save on contact lenses. You get 25% off all contact lens brands: Vista, AccuView, Biofinity, Dailies, and many more. They're available with any prescription and for all uses. They also got a super helpful AR virtual try-on tool to help find your right frames. Also, shopping online at GlassesUSA.com is a risk-free shopping experience with free shipping and returns and 100% money-back guarantee within 14 days. Don't wear prescription eyeglasses? Check this out. I also got these Otato Roll-In sunglasses from GlassesUSA.com. Get the exclusive discount only available to Seahawks Today viewers by clicking on the links in the comments and the description box. It's only available for 24 hours. Once again, thank you, GlassesUSA.com, for sponsoring today's video. From the shades to the glasses, we go. Thanks to GlassesUSA.com. Next up on our countdown of minicamp winners, let's turn our attention to another rookie, that being Zach Charbonnet, the second-round draft pick out of the University of California, Los Angeles. And the Seahawks, with this run attack, are expected to split the load between Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet. And I know that there's some people that have said, hey, why are you spending a second-round pick on a running back when you already have a Pro Bowl caliber back in Kenneth Walker? But we've seen history tell us that Seattle wears out their running backs. They love to run the football. You got to have multiple options. And so Zach Charbonnet brings to the table a running back that you can trust to be the bell cow. If something were to happen to Kenneth Walker, he's more than capable of being that guy, and they should have a thunder and lightning 1-2 dynamic punch, which I think is going to be incredible for this Seahawks team. With that said, Pete Carroll had this to say about Charbonnet, the Seahawks second-round pick. Zach does everything well. He's just a complete ball player. Don't be surprised at the reps and touches Charbonnet gets with Kenneth Walker this season. That's a good thing. I don't want to hear any more about, who's going to start or anything like that. They're both going to get playing time. They're both going to be impact players, and the Seahawks are going to have one of the best run attacks in the entire National Football League. Get ready. Get excited, my friends. It's going to be a lot of fun. Last on our winners list is Geno Smith. And we told you previously here on the channel about how what we've been told about Geno Smith is that he's been putting in the work, right? That he is building upon what he did in 2022 as a passer, also what he's done in the weight room, those things, right? He looks the part on that end. But then the other factor that comes with the quarterback position is the leadership side of things. And an interesting note from DK Metcalf was kind of pushing the leadership stuff to Geno Smith, that he's letting Geno be the face and voice of the offense, of kind of taking a step back a bit and letting this be Geno Smith's team. And some people will say, well, what does that mean for DK? Is he just deferring to Geno? No. Don't get me wrong here, folks. This is about the respect and the admiration he has and the trust for Geno Smith to lead this team. Pete Carroll said this. Yes, DK has indeed stepped back and let Geno Smith lead the Seahawks this year. The coach was glad to hear Metcalf said that. Pete Carroll says the 25-year-old Metcalf's next step in his maturation, perfect controlling distractions to his game. So there's all the winners. We'll get to the losers next. But first, who is the biggest winner of minicamp for your Seattle Seahawks? Whether it was somebody we talked about today or somebody we did not talk about today, give me your biggest winner for minicamp for the Seattle Seahawks for what they've done in these couple days of mandatory camp. Give me one name that is your winner. Subscribe to the channel as we're bringing you daily Seattle Seahawks news and rumors. We also do our live shows at Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. And this season will be the return of watch parties for every single Seattle Seahawks game. We'll have you covered here on the channel. And if you're a diehard Seahawks fan, this is the channel for you. The best part about it is it's absolutely free. We are trying to get to 38.5 thousand subscribers. Need your help to get there, though. About 361 away. Subscribe now for free. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. And join us all off season long into the season as we're talking about your Seattle Seahawks. An exciting season ahead. Come on in and stay a while and be a part of the journey here on the channel. Next up on losers. Let's go to that. We'll run through these. Starting with Bryan Mone, recovering from injury, obviously. And the timetable not looking ideal. As Pete Carroll says, it's going to be a while before edge Alton Robinson and nose tackle Bryan Mone will return from injuries and get onto the practice field. The other thing, too, is that we've seen some of the younger guys getting that experience and getting that playing time and might end up passing up Bryan Mone on the depth chart. If Mone were healthy, you would think he would be a shoo-in to be the starter. But as more time goes on, there's more opportunities for these other players to step up, and the Seahawks considering possibly bringing in another more help in the interior of the defensive line, whether that be free agency or trade. With more passing days and not knowing when we'll see Bryan Mone come back, that means more questions about if they bring in somebody else or if he gets passed up the depth chart at his position there. Next up, Cade Johnson. And this is not anything that Cade Johnson's done wrong necessarily, but as far as competing for a spot on the 53-man roster, we know that Cade Johnson's going to be very tough, right? Because the Seahawks wide receiver room is so competitive. But beyond just what's already there, of the young cats, the UDFAs, there's one guy in particular that's making a case who could be on that 53-man roster instead of a guy like Cade Johnson. Listen to this. Pete Carroll, here talking to new safety Julian Love today at minicamp, says 2, 3, or 4 undrafted rookies could be competing to play for the Seahawks this fall. First two he mentioned, safety Jonathan Sutherland from Penn State and wide receiver Jake Bobo from UCLA. And we've talked a lot about Bobo on this channel. Not the fastest guy by any means, but a big receiver with good hands. Maybe that bumps out Cade Johnson there. At the very least, I think Jake Bobo is going to be on your practice squad. You need to keep him around in some way, shape, or form, I would hope. The last loser on this list is Joey Blount. Very similar to Cade Johnson here. Didn't necessarily do anything wrong, but a veteran that you would think holds a roster spot, right? But then we hear, as mentioned there in that previous tweet that we showed you from Greg Bell there about Sutherland, here's more on Sutherland of standing out, possibly getting one of these roster spots. Sutherland was getting some reps with the starting defense. As Seahawks DB coaches tried different combos. Bobo's size, back to Jake Bobo, at 6'4", 207 is intriguing. Coaches were on him a lot, a sign they want him to develop. Bobo calls from teammates were a daily staple of OTAs and minicamp. Who's the biggest loser of minicamp for your Seattle Seahawks? We gave you a few names. There's some others that you could potentially reach out there. Give me a loser for the Seahawks, who the biggest loser for minicamp was. So to recap, our winners from minicamp include Mike Jackson, Devon Witherspoon, Jaxon Smith-Njigba, Zach Charbonnet, and Geno Smith. Your minicamp losers include Bryan Mone, Cade Johnson, and Joey Blount. One final note before we go here, folks. Today is a significant day to some. It is the 9th day of the month of June, 6-9 on the calendar. I hope you have a nice day and a nice weekend. And we thank you for joining us here on Seahawks Today. Today's show is sponsored by Glasses USA. Get some glasses like me and enjoy yourself. Have a great weekend. Check out GlassesUSA.com for more. And we got the links in the comments and the description of today's show. Have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us.